Hi everyone, very good morning. So let's start. So here, so in the previous sessions, what we have done, so we saw that how to create a roles, and then how to assign the roles to the user, and then what are the grant permissions we need to give when we created a roles. Then we created a masking policy. Once we created a masking policy, then we have applied a masking policy for the specific column for any specific table, right? So these are the things what we have done. So now,
Uh,
so today, let's see how we can able to any questions here. Uh, are you asking something, Kumar? I muted you.
Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have few questions from last session.
Yeah. Tell
So,
me.
okay. See, means I have a question like, can I create a table from one database to another database? Let's say I have a database that class.
Okay. So is it related to the previous all the sessions, right?
No, no,
I saw
no, no,
your
not
email.
all the session, not all the session.
Mm-hmm.
Last session and
Mm-hmm.
last to last session I have.
Yeah. Okay. So that we can do that. We can able to create a table. So from one database to another database,
So I have to
we
use
can
that
do.
db.schema and that table name, and that I
Yes.
will be able to
Exactly.
create. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, and let's yesterday what I did
Mm-hmm.
means I assigned some role to the table,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
logged in with that account admin role.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when I changed that role, but still I was able to access that table. However, that role
Mm-hmm.
I had not assigned to that my account ID, that user.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you are trying with account admin or
Right, right.
any other role.
No,
Account
see,
admin, you will have all the permissions.
and I
So
also
for the
used that.
account admin, when
I
you
changed the role.
create,
I changed the role,
mm-hmm.
but it was able to access that database, that table.
No, no. So when you change the role, so you cannot able to.
Okay,
Okay, so please cross check one more time. Okay, if it's still the same, so you'll see the ones. Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay. But so if you are in account admin role, so you by default, so whatever the roles here, right? So automatically you will have other than the roles which you are created. So like other than default roles, any role if you select for the
Mhm.
all the roles, so whatever the things we are doing, everything will be so by default it will be accessible. So that is
I
the
I
configuration.
granted that public role, but
Hmm.
still I was able to access
Hmm.
that table.
Yeah, that can be done. So because that is the default role, right? The role so which you didn't create it, right? That is a
Okay,
default role. You can able to do that. So but so
okay,
let's try to create a new role called developer or business or analyst anything, and then
hmm,
try to access that.
okay,
Okay, then you can enable it. Okay,
okay.
fine.
Thanks.
So I saw your questions in email chain. I will respond that in today's by end of the day. Okay.
Good. It will be good if you can give me some 30-40 minutes of time.
Sure, definitely. I will do that. Okay, fine. Thank you. So now, so let's come to the topic. So now what we have done previously, we created a masking policy. Then we applied the masking policy for the column. So for the specific table. So this is the thing what we have done, right? So before that, we created a roles, and then we have also for the specific roles. So we have given the grant permissions. Okay. So now, so whatever the thing we have done, so for the masking policy, if the masking policy already applied on a table or already applied for the any specific column, you cannot able to recreate the masking policy. It means if you observe, so here, so masking policy what we have created, so this is the masking policy what we have created, and then we applied masking policy for this particular column in this particular table, right? Suppose let's try to recreate the masking policy, this masking policy. If you try to recreate it with the same name, so now let's observe what it is going to do. Now if you try to recreate, if you want to see the description of the masking policy, you can able to see that here. So just to describe, so let's connect it to account admin role, account admin. That is taking some time. Okay, now it's changed to account admin. And then, so this is related to the worksheet. So here the worksheet, so you need to specifically again, so instead of analyst role, so we need to change it to account admin. So now, so we are in account admin role. Now observe, if you want to see that what all the masking policies we created two masking policies, right? So you can describe masking policy and then some masking policy name. So this is the masking policy. You can able to see the, so what is this masking policy, what we have created here, right? And then so what is the definition of the masking policy here? Last column. See this one in the body. So here we have a body, right? So here you can able to see that the masking policy information. So what is the masking policy? So we have created. Now if you try to change this, so for example already existing masking policy, what we will do is, so now observe this, the same thing we are trying to do, what we have here. So masking policy, so this is the masking policy name, and then we have given access to business developer account admin. To whom we didn't given the access, we didn't given the access to analyst, right? Now if you observe here, the same thing, masking policy, same masking policy name, but what we are trying to do is, so we are exactly reverse what we are doing. So instead of like so analyst, so we don't want to give the access, the same thing here also. See this, if the current role not in analyst, it means other than analyst, so display the value. If it is analyst, then display the value, same thing. But if you try to recreate it, see this one, create or replace, so masking policy, masking policy name, we are trying to recreate it. If you try to recreate it, so with the same name, if the policy is already available, so this masking numbers policy already available here, right? Masking strings also already available. When you try to recreate it, now observe what is happening. So masking policy cannot be, so see this one, so cannot be so dropped or replaced. It is associated with one or more entities. It means this masking policy, this statement is telling that this masking policy is already applied on a table, already applied for a column and then for the specific table. Now, so here, so if you want to, so like, so if you want to modify this masking policy, that we have to do is, you need to unset the masking policy, whatever the masking policy you have applied here, right? You need to unset it, then only you can able to recreate it, otherwise it is not possible. Now let's see that how to unset the masking policy. Now you can use this to unset masking policy. Alter table, if exist, the same so name, the table name, the table name, so we have it here. So in the public, so you can able to see the table name, employees info, this one, right? So for the column, so salary, unset, observe this, what we are doing, unset. Here when you are applying, what we have given set. And one more thing, when you are applying, you need to give masking policy and then masking policy name. We need to give the masking policy name when you are applying a masking policy, but when you are unsetting, no need to give the masking policy name, just we are unsetting them, just we are giving the masking policy for that particular column, that's it. So here, so it will unset that. Now observe this, alter table, we are unsetting. Now the policy is not applied for this particular salary column, so let's refresh it. And then if you come to, if you change the role, for example, use role analyst. Now the role has been changed to analyst. Now if you check the data here, what is the table? This is the table name. Now, so let's run this. Now observe this for the salary column. So it's unset. So analyst can able to view the salary. The masking policy is gone now, right? So it is not implemented on this particular table. Now the numbers masking policy is not applied. Now if you try to recreate it, now observe this, then it will be done. Okay. So we have to be in a, so account admin role. Now we are in account admin role. Now if you try to recreate it, now the policy is recreated. Now we created a, so policy, right? So previously what we have done, so we so unset. So when your policy is already available, so if you are applied the policy on any specific column, you cannot able to recreate it. But what we can do, if you want to recreate it, we need to unset, and then after that we need to recreate it. Once it is unset, again if you want to apply that, again you can so apply on that particular table. So based on the, so masking policy, what is the masking policy? The same name, that policy name is the same. If you want to apply again, alter table exist, the table name, so modify column set, you need to use a set. Again observe this, now again we have applied the masking policy. Now let's change the role again. Now use role analyst. So now we are in analyst role. Now if you observe again, now policy has been applied for this particular table. Now see this, we cannot able to see the salaries, right? So this is how we can able to, so so we can able to recreate it. The completely it is recreating. Altering is different, recreating is different, right? So we are so recreating this one. So now altering can also possible. So when we are altering, we have to be so very careful. So we cannot do so blindly altering the masking policy, because wherever it has been applied, everywhere it will be reflected. So now, so let's see that. So now, so this one we saw that how to unset. We will see. So masking policy can be applied on table as well as view also, as well as view also. But when you are working with a view, the same thing, only the difference is if exist is not required. If exist is not required, remaining everything will be the same. There is no difference. Now let's see. In the later classes, we will see what is the difference between when we are working with a view, materialized view. We will see that what is a, we have three types of views: view, normal view, secure view, materialized view. We will see all these three things. What is the difference between each and everything we will discuss. Now, so for this particular the masking policy, let's create a simple view. This is a, we used to call it as a normal view.
Yeah,
Let's create a
Dinesh.
normal view and then try to implement. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one doubt. So can we see on which tables that masking policy is available? So
On which tables we have applied masking policy, that is not possible. Only with what we can see is we can see the masking definition. That's it.
okay,
That, so we need to so remember, so what all the tables we have applied the masking policy, so that so we don't have any option for that. Okay. So now, so let's come to, so this one, so view implementation, how we can able to implement a view. So now let's create a view, simple view. Now we are in analyst. Let's change the role to the account admin, or you can use role account admin. Now we are creating a view. So on this particular employees info, employees MP info, view info as, so from this particular table, the employee information table, the same table. So employee information table we will pick. Sorry. So employee information table. So we'll pick some data. So where salary greater than, so forth on. Let's check whether the data is available. Yeah, two records we have, right? So these two records, so we are creating a view. So now observe this. Now this is a view. Now if you check the data in the view, select star from, this is the view name. View name, you observe this, you can able to see the data in a view. So now why we will create a view, just it's a, so we can say that it's a mirror image of the base table. So whatever the data, so whenever the data update in the table, so automatically the view will be updated. So based on any, so instead of picking all the, so data, so for any specific region or any specific condition, if you want to create a view, we can able to create a view, and then we can able to fetch the data from the view instead of going back to the table every time and then fetching the data. So this is the best option to create a view. So now, so we have a view. Okay, now when we have a view, if you see the data, we have two records. Now we want to mask this information. So we need to apply masking on this particular view. Then already the masking policy we have on this particular, so we have created a masking policy for the numbers, for the strings already masking policy is available, right? If you want to apply this on the same masking policy on this view, so just we can use alter statement, that's it. So let's, so observe this. Okay, before that, so for this role, so analyst, we will give the grant permissions. Okay, so let's give the grant permissions. So here, so this is the grant permissions we need to give for this particular view. So what is the view name we have given here? So view emp info. So this is the view name. Now what we need to do, so whatever the roles, if you want to check that, so the roles, so this view, so for this particular view, so we need to give the grant. So same way, the table, if you create a table also, so you need to give the, so grant permissions specifically for the specific roles. So then only these roles can able to access the data. Otherwise, if you log in with this role, if you like use the role, and then if you try to, so this is for business. Business. Okay, so if you try to, so access this, what all the roles we have, maybe spelling wrong. Okay, now, so all the roles, so now we have access to this particular view. Now we have a access to the view. So then, so we will, so create a secure. So we will try to, so implement the masking. Now this what we have to do is, so the same thing. So previously, so for the table, so what we have given, alter table if exist we have used. If you observe here, so this one alter table if exist we have used. After that, so table name, so modify column, set masking policy for the column. Same way here. So here alter view. So if exist is not required. So directly view, and then this is a statement. This is a syntax. Alter view, the view name, modify column, the remaining same thing. Salary, set masking policy. So what is the masking policy here? We have created the masking numbers. This is the masking numbers, right? We need to apply this. So now let's apply this. So view name is, so view employee info. Employee info. This is the view name. Now let's apply this one. Now this masking policy is applied for this particular thing, right? So now all the roles, so we have access to this view. So now, so let's observe, so change the role to the analyst, and then let's try to check the data. So now use role, analyst. Now we change the role to the analyst. Sorry. Get down and remove that. Okay. So now, so let's check, select. Now we are in analyst role. So what is the view information? This is the view. Now observe this. Observe that. Now what we can able to see? See this one. So we cannot able to see the data in the view, right? View information. So we cannot able to see any information in a view. So now, so one thing, so here, so for the role analyst, right? So and at the same time, so for example, if you change the role to business, business, now change the role to the business. Now let's check the data. Observe this. So we don't have any restriction, right? So we applied this, so for the only for the analyst. So now this is the, so how we can able to apply for the view. The same way we can apply for the masking policy for the numbers, masking for the policy for the strings. So but only the difference is in between the view and then table. So if exist is not required, so when we are so applying this masking policy for so view, so for the table only if exist is required. So this is so one thing. So now if you want to alter masking policy, so let's say we have a masking policy here. So this, sorry, so whatever the masking policy we have created, so this is the masking policy what we have created. The same masking policy we need to alter. It means we need to add so one more so role here, or so we need to remove one more role, whatever it may be. That is nothing but altering, right? When you are altering a masking policy, what will happen is if you alter masking policy, then wherever the masking policy is applied for the columns, whatever the columns and then whatever the tables it has been applied, everywhere it is going to be reflected. So that is not a best idea. So but so if you want to apply that, so just if we want to change the masking policy, for example, just want to for adding, that is fine. So but removing, so from the any specific role, so we have to be very careful. So because everywhere it is going to be reflected wherever you have applied. Now let's see this, how to so change the masking policy. So how to alter? Just we need to use alter masking policy, and then so this is the so masking policy name, so which we have created. So this is the masking policy name. Observe this. So previously what we are doing, so here, so just so we are giving the statement, right? For which policies, which roles we have to apply. Here when we are altering, so we are altering the, see this one, so masking policy. So far, so body, so set body, we are giving set body. So this particular statement. So current role, use current role, not in. So what we have included here, this one is analyst. For this analyst, we are altering again one more role we are adding. We are adding developer role. So for developer, for the analyst, we don't want to give the information. And one thing, if you observe here previously what we have done, so else we have given some stars or there some nums of some specific the hard coded value. Instead of hard coded value, what we can do is we can give this syntax keyword hash value. Hash value means it will generate some random numbers. For example, if you observe, select or some hash of, for example, snowflake. Also this, so what it is going to generate, it is going to generate select. Also this one, this is the hash value it is generated. If you give some number here, instead of this, if you give some number, hash of some value, okay, then it will generate some so random number. See this one. So this is a hash value. The hash value is a, it's nothing but so hiding the information from the original value. So it will generate some random hash numbers and then it will display. So instead of that, so what we are doing hash of whatever the value we are going to have in the column, right? Instead of that original column, just give a hash value. That is the meaning of this. Now what we are doing here, along with the analyst, we are adding so one more role called developer here. We are altering the masking policy. Now once you altered, so remember, it will be applied everywhere. So wherever you have applied this masking number policy, where we have applied this masking number policy for the table, so this particular salary column in this particular table, right? So what is the table name? So this particular view also we have applied. For this employee info table also we have applied, right? Now let's check, use the role to analyst or
Dinesh,
developer, whatever it can be. Yeah.
Dinesh,
Yes, Ravi, tell me.
from yesterday onwards, you are talking the same masking. Is there any, this is a big topic or you don't have any other topics here? Because
Sorry.
yesterday
Hmm.
onwards, we are talking about the masking, right? So
Correct.
is it a big topic or today are you going to, today also the same topic again?
No, no. So once this is completed, this is the alter masking policy is completed, then
Mm-hmm.
we are going to discuss about the pricing model or resource monitoring.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay. Are you getting bored, Ravi?
Yeah, because masking these things now. I mean, yesterday you told again, today also the same topic. I am thinking like, is it a
Yesterday
big?
is like just we have created. Now we are seeing the altering masking policy because so everyone will not like so understand the things very easily, right? So that's why.
What I'm requesting is that advanced topics, the key topics, right? You can take more on the focus on that, so that that will be more advantage. That's my suggestion. But anyway, it's up to you.
Sure.
But still,
Okay, Ravi.
what I want, if you whatever you want to give us, at least give us. It is not like you should skip anything.
Okay, fine. I will take all your concerns. Thank you. Okay. So let's finish this. Okay. So after that, we will jump into the pricing model. So now, so what we are doing, so just we have using a hash value instead of that. Now, when we are doing this, so now let's change the role to the analyst. So when for any, so new guys, whoever is like, so not having knowledge on any database, so for them, it's very difficult to understand the things. That's why I'm explaining each and every topic. Okay. So please don't mind. So now if you observe this here, so now we are in a role of analyst. Now, so if you try to so view the information, see this one, it's applied. And at the same time, what we have done, we have added developers also. We have added for the developer also. Now let's change the role to the developer. Okay. Now we have changed the role to the developer. And then if you check the data again here, it can be a view or it can be a table.
That alter
Now
query
we
not executed, Dinesh. At that
okay.
time, you're in business role.
This one.
That alter
Not
masking policy. Yeah,
okay,
that
fine,
last
fine.
one. You were in
And
business role at that time. Maybe you need to change the account.
thank you. Account admin. So now let's change this. Now it has been changed. Now let's check the role. Now we are in the role of developer. Now let's check the data. Now observe this. The hashtag values has been applied. Okay. So this is how. So what we can able to so create a masking policies and then recreate it and then so alter it. Okay. So based on the requirement, so we can able to so dynamically masking the data. This is one of the securities. So now let's jump into the topic so called pricing model. So now so what we know that okay, so what we know is so when we are working with snowflake, so this one, it's not a traditional licensing, right? So here, so when we are utilizing virtual warehouse, when we are utilizing virtual warehouse for 1 hour of utilization, is going to charge around $2 from the users. This is the one pricing. Another one is for storage. For storage, what we are going to use is, so if you are utilizing 1 terabyte of the storage, it is going to be charged in between $23 to around $40. So it depends on the cloud platform what we are going to use. At the same time, it depends on the region, and then it depends on the whatever the snowflake edition we are going to use. So based on that, this pricing will be changed. So this is very important. So if you want to work with resource monitoring, when you want to create a resource monitoring, so we need to so understand so how the pricing will be so work in a snowflake. So what we know, so virtual warehouse 1 hour utilization $2 they are going to charge, and then storage we are going to, it is going to be charged for 1 terabyte in between $23 to $40. So this is the so things what so snowflake is charging. Now if you so this see that the pricing model, so you can able to see all the things here in the snowflake pricing. Let me show you something here. If you go to the snowflake pricing, we can able to see the basic information here. So for what all the things we are going to charge, let's come to see this one. So these are the editions. So when we created the same thing, so you have gathered the information here. So I will send this information. So let's observe this here. So we have what all the editions we have for the trial versions. When you created a trial account, you can able to see standard edition, enterprise edition, business critical edition. So these are the three editions so which we can able to create a trial account. We have another account also, virtual private snowflake, but for the trial account this is not possible. And so we can able to see the pricing for standard, enterprise and business critical, but not for virtual private snowflake. So if you want any so understanding of snowflake, you need to send an email to this pricing. You need to send an email to the snowflake support team. Now if you observe here, see this, let's say I will select AWS platform or Azure or GCP, anything. So first go with the AWS, and when you select AWS, and then when you select any region, it can be any region. Let's select here, so US East region, and observe the pricing here. The for the standard edition, so what is the credits they are charging? $2 per credit. And so for the enterprise edition, $3 per credit. So for the business critical edition, $4 per credit, right? So these are the charges they are utilizing. So they are charging standard, enterprise, business critical. But virtual private snowflake, observe this. So there is so no so information here. So we need to send an email to the snowflake team, snowflake support team. So they will so get in touch with us. Now another thing, if you observe, see this one, on-demand storage. This is a capacity storage. Capacity storage, we used to call it as a pre-purchased plan also. Pre-purchased plan, this is a on-demand. On-demand, if you observe, per terabyte, $40. So for pre-purchased, if you observe, it is a $23, right? This is $23 pre-purchased, and then this on-demand plan is $40. This is the pricing. For example, if you change the region, so this one region, so it will be, the pricing will be slightly, it will vary. For example, I will select, so US London, so U London. Now observe this one, so change it to U region. Now observe this. So instead of $2, $2.70 here. And then instead of $40 of the on-demand storage, this is for the storage per month per terabyte. It is $42. But here instead of 23, we have 24. It will slightly vary. Same way, it will vary based on the platform also. Platform which you are going to select. So instead of AWS, if you select Azure and then select the region, now when you select the region, now observe this. So this is the pricing. And then if you select the different region here also, so it may so vary slightly. Now observe this, right? So these are the pricing. It will slightly vary based on the platform. So based on the region. And so this is the one thing. So which one is the best here? So this is credit utilization. So we cannot do anything based on the virtual warehouse utilization. It means whatever we are going to use here. So this is a virtual warehouse here. The virtual warehouse means this is a computation layer. How much time when you run any query, for example, when you are selecting, for example, select star from any table. Let's take a table here, anything. So let's come to the account admin role. Now we are in account admin role. Now let's run this. Now observe this, we can able to see the data, right? When you fire a query, what happened here? See this one, 156 milliseconds it has calculated, right? So that much time. So we have utilized the virtual warehouse. End of the day, it will calculate. So all the queries, how much time we have utilized this virtual warehouse. So based on this time, based on that calculation, it is going to be charged the credits. So that is depends on the credits. Credit utilization means, so based on, so for example 1 hour, so it will be around, so some dollars, it can be $2 or $2.2, whatever it may be. So on consolidated charge, consolidated so things, it is going to be calculated. Then so based on this it will be charged. So that is a one thing. Okay, so that is fine. So but here when it is coming to the storage, so this is completely the processing, right? This is completely processing. But whatever the data we are storing in this table, so here we have two things. One is capacity storage and then on-demand storage. Or pre-purchased or on-demand storage. Which one is the best one? If you see that, so directly we can say that, so always the pre-purchase is the, so almost it's so lesser price when compared to the on-demand. But initially, so when any project, so these are all the things, so it is very important. So when any like so user so came to us and then if they ask, so any calculation, so what, so I will give you the requirement, what will be the calculation, these things we need to understand very carefully. Now first, generally, so remember this point, anything first 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 months, if any new customer come to us and then if they ask, so try to so implement so snowflake for us, then first 3 to 4 months we are going to always, you will go for on demand only, on demand, based on the observation of the load for 3 to 4 months of the utilization, then only they will go for the pre-purchased one. So they will not decide, we cannot decide blindly. So many persons will be involved here, like so your so senior managers will be involved from the snowflake support team also. So the pricing part they will involve, and then all these things they will check. So first 3 to 4 months, based on that they will decide so which plan is the best one. So normally, so first 3 to 4 months it will be go for the on demand. After that they will decide the estimate the, so what is the like volume of the data it is coming. So based on that they will go for the pre-purchased. So why we cannot blindly go for a pre-purchased initially? Now let's observe this so simple example. Now if you observe one example here, see this one. So this is just a assumption. So we have two persons here. So their utilization is 100 GB of storage is required per month. Okay, this is their assumption, 100 GB of the storage. So they are going for pre-purchase. So they selected pre-purchase plan. So 100 GB of the storage means pre-purchase plan. So what is the plan for 1 TB? They have to use so $23, right? 100 GB means 0 0.1, right? 1000 GB is 1 TB. 100 GB means 0 0.1 multiply, so 23. So then it will be $2.3 they need to pay, right? But if you observe actual consumption, what they have utilized, they not even utilized so 20 GB, right? So 20 GB is their actual consumption. but how much they have to pay? This is a pre-purchase, right? Pre-purchase means their assumption is 100 GB, they need to pay for the 100 GB. So 0.1 into $23 they have paid. So this much to $2.3. Okay, now the same thing, the same requirement. So another person so came, and then another person they decided, so the 100 GB of the 10 GB, only the 10 GB of the storage is required per month, their assumption. They selected on demand plan. But actual consumption, if you observe in the both the cases, actual consumption is 20 GB only. So when it is coming to the actual consumption 20 GB, then observe this cost pre-purchase is $23. So on demand cost is $40. Now, so if this 20 GB, they need to pay for only 20 GB, right? 20 GB means 0.02 in a 1000 GB, right? So now 0.02 they have to pay for 0.02 multiply 40. Now if you observe, so who is paying very less? So but here the pre-purchase plan is very cheap. So but if you calculate, so your the data volume, but here if you observe, see it's wrongly calculated here, so they are paying higher. But here, so 0.02 into 40, so they are paying lesser than the pre-purchased plan. So this is capacity plan or pre-purchase plan, don't get confused. So someone will tell that it's a capacity plan, or someone will tell that it's a pre-purchase plan. So both are same. So that's why first 2 to 3 months, so or so 3 to 4 months, when any new customers came, so trying to implement their project on so snowflake, so they will not go and then blindly decide. So it is a uh, on demand are so first so pre-purchased. First they will calculate the things, based on that only they will go for the so on demand. So this is the so charges mainly, so here for the processing, for the storage. So these are the only the charges what we know. And other than this, we have a serverless features. Going forward, we are going to discuss about the snow pipe, and then so metallized view. So let me come here. Okay, so this is another thing. So we can able to see. So serverless features means, so we have some other additional the features which is available here. The like metallized view, and then snow pipe, so and then clustering. So these concepts is available. Serverless features means whenever you are using, then only we are paying for that. We will come to that again. Now, if you observe the in-depth, so virtual warehouse computation. So these will be, see this one is for the storage, one is virtual warehouse. Another charges will be applicable, that is cloud services, whatever the cloud services we are utilizing. But this cloud services always it will be free. So why? Because if you observe the statement here for the cloud services, see this one. So the cloud 10% of the daily computation credit. Computation credit means nothing but the processing layer, the processing credit. So this particular thing, so this particular the credits it will be free. 10% of the credits will be free for the so cloud service utilization. So that's why, so we will not consider this the cloud service in any of our calculations. Only the storage and then virtual warehouse computation will be calculated. These two things will be calculated. And when it is coming to virtual warehouse, here virtual warehouses, if you observe one thing here, let me edit this one. So here, if you observe, we have virtual warehouse sizes, right? These we will call it as t-shirt sizes, t-shirt sizes. So based on the requirement, so based on the data load, so we are going to decide these t-shirt sizes. If you observe here, up to extra small to 4x large and 5x large we have, right? So up to 4x large we can able to utilize. So it is in a live 5x large. So recently they have implemented, this is still in a review. So they are reviewing this 5x large. We can use up to 4x large. For every virtual warehouse size is increasing. Now always it will double the credit limits. If you observe this, 1 extra small, small 2, medium 4, large 8, right? Always it will double the credits. This is the credits. Based on the credits, so how much, so each and every credit will be charged. here we have the calculation. Each and every credit will be based on your, so for example, so let's somewhere it will be, yeah. So if you select any region, you can able to see that. So based on the, if it is a enterprise edition, so $3. If it is a standard edition, $2. If it is a business critical, so then it will be a $4 based on the that. So this particular credit will be calculated. So how many hours we are going to use, those many hours into multiply by how many credits. So that one will give you the cost of the, so credit utilization of the processing layer. Now this one, so when you are increasing, now remember the terminology here. When you are increasing the virtual warehouse, then you are going to call that as a scale up and then scale down, scale up and then scale down. When you are increasing the virtual warehouse size, scale up and then scale up. When you are increasing, scale up. When you are decreasing, scale down. Okay, remember this one. So this terminology will come in your certification question. Scale up and then scale down. Okay, when you are increasing, you can consider that scale up. When you are decreasing, that is a scale down. So that is so nothing but virtual warehouse. So now if you observe the same pricing, so here, right? So based on that, so when you are increasing credits, so consumed per hour, when your virtual warehouse is extra small, then it is a 1. So when it is small, then it will be a 2. When it is medium, okay. Now observe this, 5x and then 6x large virtual warehouses are in preview. So this we cannot able to use now. So now another thing, cloud services layer, anywhere we can ignore this. So there is no costing for this cloud services layer. And then serverless features, the snow pipe, so metalized view, so replication, automatic clustering. So these things, optimization service, when you are discussing this particular topic. So our partitioning and then clustering, we will discuss that. So when we are implementing partitioning and clustering, so these are such optimization service and automatic clustering, so these things will be implemented in the backend. So these things no need to so execute anything. So when you created a cluster, automatically it will be taken from the backend. These services, whenever you are utilizing the services, then only snowflake will charge from that. When you are using the snowflake, we can see so how the pricing will be calculated. When you are utilizing metallized view, we can able to see that for this metallized view how much they are charging. So these are the other extra features, so we will come to that again. And when we know this, so when based on the snowflake edition, it is going to be charged. These are the prices. Now let's come to so one more thing here, the pricing for the data transfer. So this, especially when it is coming to the data transfer, now every organization is implementing newly the snowflake, right? Data transfer means nothing but, suppose let's assume that here if we observe, we are in account admin role. If you go to the account icon and then come to the storage here, average storage used, what all the things you can able to see in the usage. One is for the virtual warehouses, you can able to see it is calculating the credits. Another thing is average storage used, this is for the storage, this is for the storage, this is for the credit utilization. Another thing you can able to see this one, this is data transfer. Data transfer means, so let's say when the project started, the organization has decided we have to utilize yet AWS platform. Now, if you observe when we created an account, so we have selected AWS as a platform, right? Suppose now, so down the line, after 1 year, after 2 years, they don't want to continue with AWS platform. They want to shift everything from AWS to Azure or AWS to GCP. So in this particular situation, then the data transfer will come into the picture. So now, so where is our data, and then so whatever we are doing and everything, it is available in AWS buckets. AWS, so it will store it in a blob storage. It will store everything in a AWS platform. Now we don't want AWS. We want to move the complete platform from AWS to Azure or AWS to GCP, whatever it may be. Then the data transfer will come to the picture. So nowadays, now so everyone is implementing new. So now no one so has. so implemented this data transfer. Okay, now if you observe again the data transfer, so it depends on free transfer from, so within the region there is no charges. Observe this, data transfer by day, so excluding, so free transfer from, so AWS South 1. This is which region we have created account, South 1. This is the region, right? Within the region, so there is no charges. So let's, okay, understand this, what it means by the region, and then what it mean by mm, zone. For example, uh, country. Okay, assume that this is a region. Just assume that. So, for example, I mean country is a region, and inside the country we will have states, right? States is, let's consider it as a zone. Okay, so within the region, if you want to transfer the data for one state to another state, like one zone to another zone, there is no charges. But if you want to move from one region to another region, for example, one country to another country, then the Snowflake will charge for that. You can able to see that pricing here. See this one. So this is, so the transfer region, the same cloud. Within the region, same cloud. It means AWS to AWS, but within the region, there is no charges. If it is within the AWS account, you need to transfer it to another region, maybe because of the security reasons. So they want to shift their complete, like so data from one region to another region. So then, so there will be a charge. So if they want to move from one region, from the one region to another region, the charges will be there. From one account, one cloud account to another cloud account, see this one. So one cloud to the different cloud, then charges will be this one, right? So this is for the data transfer. So this, so very rarely, so they will so use this. So but, so this is the charges what they are going to apply. So the same way for if it is Azure to Azure, there is no charges. Azure to, so another continent, they have come up with the continent. So and then another cloud. So there is a charges. If it is a GCP, the same thing. So GCP to GCP, there is no charges. So GCP to one region to another region, there is a charges. And then same way, so one GCP to the another account like AWS or Azure, then there will be a different charges. These are the charges they are applicable. Now let's say we will, so come, we will see, we will discuss some examples here. Now let's assume that, so maybe, so when you are working with it, any like a particular account, the new account. Now just a minute. For example, just a minute, lost it. Okay, now let's assume that, so we have, so one, so new customer. So let's assume that they are already implementing, so their complete thing in Oracle. Okay, so let's say that some so Oracle or DB2 or Teradata, whatever it may be. So they are using, so something, so they know the pricing, so how much it is, so how much they are like paying for the license and all these things. Now, so they came to us and then they asked that, so we have a requirement. Okay, so could you please so tell me the pricing, so how much it will be charged per year. Okay, so then, so we can give the estimation to them. So based on their requirement. So let's see the example. Then we will be very clear with that. So how we can able to so so calculate that. So now let's consider the same example. So which we have given, which the Snowflake has given to us. Now let's assume that. So this is the example. This is the requirement. So now if you observe, so Snowflake capacity standard, Snowflake, they have customer has purchased the Snowflake, the standard services, and so United States. They are telling that United States. Okay. And so their requirement is load data every night, right? And so 8 users. See this one, data loading is every night, and they are having 8 users. And so they are telling that this is the business hours. Okay, for this customer, So they're telling that the storage, average storage will be 4 terabytes, 4 terabytes per month. And so batch loading, so this one 2.5 hours. So every so night the load will happen, the data load, it is taking 2.5 hours. So using small standard virtual warehouse. Okay. So small standard virtual warehouse. And coming to users, right? They said that 8 users. They are working 5 days a week. 8, let's assume that 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. just for the calculation purpose. And then we are for the users or developers or testers, whoever it may be, all together. So they are using medium standard virtual warehouse. For this, if you want to calculate and if you tell, so if you want to tell to the customer, so what will be the charges, approximate charges the Snowflake will be charged. Okay. These all things will be calculated in the so high level. So but everyone will not be involved in this. Okay. So just understand. So this is understanding will be the, so you can able to understand clearly how the Snowflake will work from the backend. Now if you observe data load frequency, so they said that it's a daily, right? Daily 2.5 hours, right? And so here they are using small standard virtual warehouse. Small standard virtual warehouse means 2 credits per hour, right? And how many hours they are utilizing? 2.5 hours. It means 2 credits, 2.5 hours, and then every day they said, right? Approximately we are taking 31 days. When we take 31 days, totally 155 credits will come for only data load. For only data load. This we will see that when you are working with a snow pipe, continuous ingestion, so you can understand so why you need to do the data load. So let's so give me the high level example. For example, let's say in AWS location we have a files. When you have a files, that whenever files arrives into that AWS location, automatically the file has to be loaded into our Snowflake tables by default. So that is, so we can call it as a continuous data load. Okay. So in that particular situation, so we can use, so this example, they can use this example now. So how much it is charging? 155 credits for the data load. Okay, that is fine. Then so what is the user's requirement here? So 5 5 days and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right? If you observe this, 8 users, totally 8 users, we are using virtual way 8, so medium virtual warehouse, 4 credits per hour. Okay. When we are using, so they said that 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 10 hours, 10 hours into 8 users. So multiplied by only working days, right? 20 working days we can calculate. So 4 credits, 10 hours, and then 20 working days. This will come 800 credits. 800 credits. And totally for the data load and then for the utilization, 800 credits plus 155, 955 credits. This is for both together data load and then users. Users means nothing but whoever the developers or tester, whoever is working. And for the storage what they said, it is a 4 terabyte. 4 terabyte. When it is coming to 4 terabyte, 4 terabyte after compression, when you observe this 4 terabyte, $23. This is so calculating based on so capacity plan or pre-purchased plan, $23. So and then 12 months. This is for 12 months. If you observe, so this is for the storage they need to charge, so 1000, so $104, right? And then for this 955 credits, so if you go for a standard utilization, and then so each and every company they will have some discount when they are so purchasing a plan. So it depends, like if the company is like having any like a partnership with the Snowflake, so the discount will be so more. It depends on the pricing. It depends on the so relationship between the organization and then Snowflake. Now, so based on this calculation, 955 credits, so per $2, so per $2 per credit for 12 months, if you calculate, so totally $21,000. And then totally along with this, the usage data storage and then virtual warehouse utilization, total together they have to pay for this particular requirement, or we can say that it's a for the project requirement, the POC requirement. So we can say that it's a 20 around $23,000 they need to pay. This is not only for the cloud service. So this is for the storage as well as so for the VDS, the virtual warehouses, what they are utilizing. For example, so if they compare, so let's say if you observe these virtual warehouses, the utilization at the same time the storage and then whatever the tool we are utilizing and then whatever the service we are utilizing from the Snowflake, all together they need to pay. So what is the amount? So around $23,000. So for this particular requirement, right? It is including, so everything they are taking care. So including the disaster recovery to backup and then partitioning and everything, every services, everything they are taking. And then all the consideration. So they are charging this much of $23. So per year, this is the calculation. So based on the recent updates, so from the organizations, whoever is utilizing the Snowflake, so they came up and then they said that, so you can see that in Snowflake websites also, they said that when they are comparing with the traditional data warehouse to this one, almost, so this is 70% cheaper than the traditional things. So what is the that is the calculations they are so telling, and then it is very fast and the completely it is a cloud services. Okay, so these are the calculations what will be there. So based on this, so we will see how to control the credit limits. So for example, so everyone is a new user to our Snowflake, right? So whenever you are a new to the Snowflake, so we are not aware how they are going to be charged, and then we should have some mechanism to control the credit limit. What is happening here? Based on the utilization of the virtual AI, based on the processing, when you are so firing a query, how much time it is going to execute, based on that it will be charged, it will calculate and it will be charged. How to control that? If any new person like came to the team and then so they don't know, so how to utilize this so wisely, so then so they can so keep on running the queries unnecessarily, and then they can so keep on creating a unnecessary tables. Then how to control that? Those things can be done by using, we have a resource monitoring here, right? So that we will discuss in the next session, how to control the billing so from unnecessary utilization, how to track back that. So based on the virtual warehouses, for example, development team, we will assign some credits. So for the testing team, we will assign some credits, and then how to track back, and then how to respond, how to control those virtual warehouses. We can suspend, we can resume that, and then we can send a notification. All these implementations we can able to perform. So in a resource monitoring. So we'll see that in the next session. So I will send this example along with that. So another example also we have. I will send the both examples, example one, example two. Just go through that. The same thing we can understand. So one we will get one idea. So how the Snowflake is charging from the users, how it will work in the backend. Okay. So any questions here? Just let me check it in a chart window. Hmm. Masking policies can be applied with get commands. Get, uh, so are you talking about this Snow CLI or using the get command? So I didn't understand this,
Yeah,
Kumar.
get command is basically run at that CLI, I think, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Supposed to ask CLI.
So
Yeah, you
let's say
can do that.
if I have to get some data from the table, and
Mm-hmm.
that table is already masked, that masking policy is
Mm-hmm.
running on that table. So if I get that
Mm-hmm.
data into any file, will that data will
Mm-hmm.
be masked or what?
No, no, it will not be masked.
Okay.
So you can able to get the data. If the table is masked also, you can able to get. You mean to, you are asking that you need to download the data
Right.
from the table once it
Right.
is
Right.
masked. Yeah, we can able to do that.
Okay. Without masking.
Yeah, without masking.
Okay. And then I asked
Okay,
that it is
then
mandatory to assign the
mandatory
role.
person. role to the masking policy. Yeah, so when we are creating the masking policy, we assign a role to that, right? So then only we can able to see that. So for which role the policy has been applied.
And I understand this is very weird question, but still, if I don't want
Mhm.
to ask assign any role, can I assign
Mhm.
a masking policy?
Okay. If you don't want to assign to any role, but you need to apply a masking policy. Okay.
Right.
So when you are applying a masking policy, so for at least we need a role to apply, right? So otherwise it is not possible. So
Okay.
otherwise,
Hmm.
so in so if you are not having in if you are not specifying any role, by default it will be available for everyone, right? Then no
Okay.
need to apply a masking policy there itself.
Okay. And
So when you
in or
want to apply, then you
hmm.
need a role. Yeah.
Okay. And in Oracle, what I see that there is
Mm-hmm.
an execution plan they create before
Mm-hmm.
executing a
Mm-hmm.
SQL, and based on that
Okay.
execution plan, they execute one by one. Let's say if the table is
Mm-hmm.
having four
Understand.
columns, then they prioritize
Mm-hmm.
one column, and then they come into that nested loop of the two table,
Mm-hmm.
and then third table they join, then the fourth table.
Mm-hmm.
This is the physical sequence they're doing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
what kind of that is execution mechanism they are using in Snowflake?
Mm-hmm.
How can we visualize
Mm-hmm.
those execution plan and all that?
Okay. Okay. So those things you can able to see that in a query history here. So
Okay.
here query history, if you click on any query ID, for example, let's click on query ID. If you come to the profile, so if you run any like a filters and if you implement anything, you can able to see everything here in the profile picture. So like a query execution plan, the same thing. So it will explain here in a profile. So you can
Okay.
see that. So you can so run any query, for example. So let's come to this one. So let me check this. See this one. You can able to see
Yeah.
that, right? So table scan and then result. Same way, if you have any joins, if you have any filters, everything can be visible here. So all the
Oh,
execution plan,
so,
you can able to see that.
so as this is not using any indexes, then what is the
Hmm.
means options available to tune the SQL? If it is taking
Okay.
more resources, more
Hmm. Hmm.
means
Hmm. Hmm.
uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
because this is all dependent on the cost and pricing.
Uh,
So we will must try to tune that thing.
I understand. For your question, answer will be so Kumar. So this one, so it's a completely so they are coming up with a software as a service, right? So they didn't given any option for us to create any partition and then any performance improvement. If we are again we are doing then so the software as a service it is not the like they will not justify it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why so everything so in the back end they are taking care of. So no
Mm-hmm.
need to do anything like so for the performance. So no need to worry about anything. So like other traditional databases, right? Here in a Snowflake, we won't bother about the performance. Always it will so take care in the backend. It will create a partitions and then it will run some backend algorithm, machine learning algorithms, and then it will create the data in the micro partitions. So and then it will store that in the backend. We will discuss that how the things will work in the backend in partition class. That is
But
also one is more
but if
physical,
they are
but we
not,
cannot able to do physically anything.
what my question is, if they are not giving any options to us, to the
Mm,
user,
mm,
so the
mm,
costing, the pricing will be depending on their own algorithm, and we cannot
mm,
minimize those costs if
That is
we
that
are
is
not,
true.
if we are not able to
Yeah,
do tuning and all that. So
correct.
because I can
That
see
is
that
true. Mm, mm,
in your session it is around 2.8 credit it has consumed till now,
correct.
and we have
Mm,
not
mm,
executed even a large query. We are just running on six
mm,
seven
mm,
record of data, and
correct. Mm,
essentially it is around $6.
mm, mm,
This is too high for executing such a small set of data.
mm,
It is 7 credit, right? So it is
mm,
means
mm,
$16 we have expend
mm,
logically for such a small
mm,
data. It is very means it is not cost effective, I think. What you say?
mm. Not only the data, right? So here we are calculating so for the processing also, right? So for the
Right.
processing for the virtual warehouses, for example,
Mm-hmm.
If you go for any cloud services, additionally you need to pay for EC2 services, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like VDAs or virtual desktops you need to create, so you have to additionally pay for the services. But here including that, the EC2 services, the
Mm-hmm.
VDAs, and then storage for everything, the charge is this one.
So they are storing their in at their own server. They are not storing the data at AWS or anywhere, right?
Mhm. No, no. So here they are storing. So based on the our selection. So here, if you observe, for example, so let's assume that. So when you created a trial account, so this is a trial account we created. So we selected AWS. Then it will be stored everything on AWS platform. If you select when you create a trial account, if you select Azure, then everything will be in a Azure platform.
Means their
It will
own
be like that.
purchased AWS instance, their own purchased AWS instance, they are putting that data.
Snowflake will purchase. Yes, not from
Yeah,
our side. Snowflake
right,
will
right.
take care of.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Dinesh, in the previous example for that pricing model, you
Yes, sir.
mentioned that there will be 8 users using for in that example.
Mm,
So
mm,
in our case, we are using that trial account, right? And we have that compute data
mm.
warehouse where it
Computer.
is like
Mm,
excess size. So for
mm.
for one compute warehouse, how many users we can use it? So
So there is no limit, Sarvan. We can assign to a number of users.
so if we want multiple compute warehouse, they will be like clustered mode, right? They will be clustered.
Yes.
The data will be shared between
Yes.
all those warehouses. Right?
Yes, data will be shared with all the warehouses.
So how will select that access or the size? Is there any
So which one?
best practice? So here we have selected access compute warehouse, right? That
Mm, mm.
so is there any best practice to select which size?
Uh, so generally, so what I see in the so projects, right? So we cannot go so beyond so medium. So in a production, so here we have extra small and then small and then medium, right? So for all the developers and the testers we will give so extra small for the testers and then small for the developers, and then for the data load, and then in the production everywhere we will give the medium, so not more than that. So this depends on Snowflake will suggest us, so based on the utilization, based on the computation utilization, based on the data load, we will give it to them. So based on that they will so come up with a, and then they will tell them so you have to use this particular size, so this is more than enough. The
Okay.
discussions will be there,
Okay.
so based on that they will decide.
Uh,
If I compare the costing from AWS, means let's say if I'm directly consuming that AWS or Azure,
Mm-hmm,
so that
mm-hmm.
cost is means it must be asking taking that charge from the costing of AWS, plus they are also adding some amount from their own end, right? Is this so, or is this means something different?
This is something, no. So it will not be charged anything. So we are not going to give any charge for AWS. We will
Right.
give the charge for only the Snowflake itself. That's it.
No,
Snowflake will take care of the AWS platform.
that I got, that I got. Let's say if I have taken that AWS directly, see, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
having exposure of that cloud. That is what I am asking.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if I would have my own means development and everything, and I would have
Mm-hmm.
uploaded data and fetched data directly from the cloud,
Okay.
let's say it would have costed me $100, right? So through this snowflakes, how
Mm-hmm.
this will be means charging means compare. I just want to compare with my own resources directly with the cloud and through the snowflake.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's come to that. So if your own resources means, so but so what about these features? What about the data storage and what about the additional features which Snowflake is giving? These
Okay.
things where you will implement again, you need to go for another services in a AWS, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So then again it will be charged for each and every service they will charge.
Okay. They will also.
Mhm.
Dinesh, I have one question.
Yes, yes, Ravi.
I'm going to book that slot for the certification. So, what is the fee
Mm-hmm.
and how to enroll that? Can you show the?
Fees, I will send you the link. Okay, so fees will be around 155 $150. So for one
150.
attempt,
Okay.
150. Okay.
Okay.
So when you
Any,
are planning that, I will send you some dumps to you so you can go through the dumps. Okay, before attempting the exam. Okay.
okay. Sure, sure. Can you send the link so that I'll be book the slot
Sure,
so
sure.
that
I will do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I will send
thank
you.
you.
Okay, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.